Hello, everybody. My name is Donna. I am the founder of Yoga in My School, and this is the Yoga in My School podcast, where we talk about all fun things yoga, mindfulness, movement for youth. I'm glad you're here, that you're listening and or watching on YouTube. And I want to say thank you to those who write reviews. Thank you for your stars and your words. Many years ago, our podcast had lots of reviews, actually. And then I changed hosting platforms and all of those reviews went away. It was a very sad day. I was like, no. So I encourage you to write some reviews. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please write a review and let's get some reviews up there again so people know that, yeah, I don't know, you're listening. It's kind of a thing. So I appreciate that. Today we have an interesting guest who came to the podcast in a very roundabout way. So social media is alive and well in my world, and I know in many of your worlds. And I like to go find people who do interesting things. And our guest today posted about something fun that she did in a kids yoga class, and I was intrigued. And so I reached out to her and I said, oh, that would be a great podcast episode. Would you be willing to talk about percussion instruments and how you use them in kids yoga class? And she was like, I don't know if I want to do that. And I convinced her, and she's very willingly come, with the asterisk that she's not a professional drummer, people, but she is a kids yoga instructor who is passionate about having fun in class. And I know that you will be able to see yourself in her and get some ideas for your own yoga class. And that's kind of my goal tonight, because I'm interested in how to use more drumming and percussion instruments in my kids yoga classes. And so it's all about what I want to learn. So you guys get to come along for the journey. But I'd love to introduce you to Jen Berg. Jen, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's a delight. And you're down where it's fairly warm right now. So you're from Arizona, and it's springtime. So I'm guessing it's fairly nice where you are, yes?
So for Arizona, it's 92. That's our spring.
That's your spring.
Breathe right to summer.
Okay. We had a blizzard here on Saturday night, so like there's still snow on the ground.
We can melt that for you. We'll melt it.
That's spring in Canada.
Extremes.
The extreme. Like, I'll trade you. Anyway, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and kind of how you came to do what you do.
Okay. So I have been teaching for about 3 years. I was a special education teacher, and then I had children, so I took a break from working with them and have been with them and still am, and I teach part-time yoga. Ever since I got certified to teach with my 200-hour, I have been teaching kids. I just feel really drawn to teaching kids. I feel it's something really fun engagement, and I just love teaching kids. I have a weekly class at a studio, not my studio, a studio, and then I teach on the side as well. But that's a little bit what I do right now with kids yoga.
Fantastic. And how do you then, because you and I connected over this post that you did about a beautiful drum, and you were like, hey, drumming in kids yoga class. And I was like, oh my God, that's so fun. And I don't think that is a prop that many kids yoga instructors have in their repertoire, is a drum. I don't know. I get this impression that sometimes people come to yoga for it to be quiet and calm and relaxed. And then you bring in a drum, which is kind of...
Well, if you've ever been to a kids yoga class, it's not a traditional class. And I always like to, present that when a parent comes with, it's a kids class and it's also kids family class. So it is definitely not a quiet place. It's more about movement and getting those wiggles out and maybe finding, 1 second of calm for that child, and whatever that means. And that could just mean wiggling, and that's their calm. Um, I like to bring in different things and look for different ideas and think of different ideas, and uh, noise, or not even noise, music is a great way to engage children. I brought it into the class to really use as a way to make them do their wiggles. So I beat it really fast, and then I beat it really slow, and then I do mix it all up, just mixing it up so that they are wiggling their bodies to however makes them feel good. And then I've also done it during, as they're in their sleepy pose, they land there, and then like a heartbeat, slow. You want to let them see that it's okay to let them calm down. And well, maybe you don't, but if you ever have a kid sit in Shavasana, it's not like they're laying still like an adult, and even adults don't lay still. But the hope is that they can relax at least and be a little calmer, so that they can, find their calmness.
Love it. Love it. In a little bit, I'm going to get you to play some of those rhythms so that we have a sample. I'm just like, no, don't do that. I'm intrigued with the heartbeat one because I'm like, thump, 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 thump. Like, that's what I'm thinking, but you might do it differently. So I don't know. Okay. So when you talked about music, how do you feel like music impacts your classes? Like what role does music play for you when you're teaching kids in particular?
Many different avenues. I bring in a singing bowl. I like to show them different instruments that they may not have normally seen, or I brought in egg shakers, or I've taken, those little plastic eggs and filled them with rice, or filled them with corn kernels, and it just makes different sounds. It also engages them in being mindful of the sounds, and we try to figure out what the sounds are. So I just try different things, and I like to bring in music a lot. I think yoga, as a asana, movement is great for the kids, but also, that's not all it is. It's about their mind and what they can find to help them find their inner, whatever that is for them. So sometimes I do dance parties, and that's a big hit. Dance parties.
Yeah, the dance parties are like I like to do like musical mats and things like whenever you bring out games and like with musical mats, you're always taking away one mat, and it's not an elimination game, right? It's how many people can you fit on the mats, right? On one mat, and start with a bunch, and then slowly there's fewer and fewer and fewer, and everybody's got to glom together and participate, and that type of thing. But like you say, music is a wonderful way to find self-expression and just figure out your body, and I don't move. It's like, it's okay, just do you.
Right. Yeah, musical mats are not something we get to bring in right now because of the way we need to be a little bit.
Yeah.
Just restrictions.
Yeah. Musical mats is not a COVID-friendly game. So,
but this is real time.
Real time. But you could do statues with dancing on your own mat, right? And then
we like to stand our own mats. Yeah.
Right, and just things like that. So when you bring in your shakers, like I do a game with shakers that is a matching game that people have to find. Like there's two of the same sound, right? So one's filled with sugar and another one's filled with sugar, and that sounds very different from rice. That sounds very different from corn kernels or dried beans or lentils. Like they all sound a little bit different. And so trying to find matches is a fun game that I like to play with shakers. What's like, can you explain to me, what do you do with shakers? Like when you're bringing shakers in, it's Easter time. We've just passed Easter. But what do you do?
I like to bring it into a more mindfulness based. So I had all the shakers out. They were all guessing what they could possibly be. And then they're supposed to close their eyes, or at least try, how that goes. And I shake it. I shake it fast. I shake it slow. And they all just want to scream out what it is. And we all have to, put our hands on our legs and give it time. But then we raise our hands, listen to the shakers, and you see if we talk about what it means, what the sounds are hearing. And then when we do each of them, and we've done all of them, we kind of talk and compare. So we're trying to bring in, them being aware of what they're using with their senses as a mindfulness activity.
Love it. Mindful listening. It's a skill. Fabulous. And do you do, like, I know, like a lot of musically inclined people would then do rhythms and things like that. Do you ever do call and response with shakers? Is another thing that I've done.
Yes, we've done that. And also we've done it where we just kind of shake them out like they're just a musical instrument that they can shake however they want when the music comes on. So they each got their own, and they can just shake it slow or fast or just however they want with the music that we have on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And one last idea I have and that I've used with shakers is everyone has their own shaker, and then we do yoga poses and especially balance poses and stuff. Once you get into a balance pose and then you're shaking one arm or whatever, it's much harder to balance and those type of things, or to move it like you're in Warrior 2 and you shake, 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 and then you switch hands, shake, 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 and this kind of thing. So it's kind of incorporated into class and into the poses, and they've got this, prop that they get to interact with, and it helps to keep them engaged and things like that. So do you have any other ideas for people as they're listening on how to use shakers in class?
I'm trying to think of what else I've done. No, I'm not right now.
That's all good. That's a few ideas so people can run with that. And if you have ideas and you're listening, you can add them to the comments.
Well, I know that you don't need to go out and buy shakers. You can just use those plastic eggs from the dollar store and throw some of those beans and rice and whatever you can find in the house.
Yep. Yep.
Tape it. Remember to tape it.
Definitely tape them.
But I feel like they find more fun that it's something that was made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Now you also have this beautiful drum, which was the inspiration for me reaching out to you. So those who are listening, you need to probably go and watch the YouTube video right now so you can see Jen's beautiful drum. Can you hold that up for us and tell us a little bit about this drum?
Let's see, you can see it. And then the back side is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Indian drum I found through resale. It came with a whole slew of different instruments to use to beat the drum.
Very cool.
Yeah, it makes it really fun. For right now, it's a little different in classes, but hopefully later on we can go back to sharing. But it's fun for the kids to see, and then I let them pick, and then I just do it in the class. As we explore different sounds, and then, my favorite thing is to use it as at the beginning of class to get all the wiggles out.
Show us.
So I just, start beating the drum, and I'm letting them know that I'm going to let it go slow, and I'm going to let it go fast, and I'm going to let it go real slow, and let them move their bodies however the beat is going. So if I'm going really, really fast, and they're standing there, I'm like, no, we're moving. And then I'll stop too. And they need to try to stay still. So it's about keeping their feet on the ground and also just moving the top of their body. So being mindful that their feet are implanted and their bodies are shaking up top. So that's fun too, talking about how we get their feet stay on the ground. And we talk about, if we put them together, we're going to fall over. If we put them apart, we're going to have a better base. So we have a really fun time just getting those wiggles out. And I feel after we've done it, just the calmness in the room has changed. Mm-hmm. They really enjoy just, shaking it out and getting real wild. And then, it's like almost like freeze dance, but with a drum. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And do you find that because you're there playing an actual instrument, that I think that has a lot of power to it?
Yes. I mean, I totally agree with that. I think if I brought out like on your device and just started playing music, it would be fun, right? They'd have a good time. But I think the actual seeing of this beautiful Indian drum, they all want to, be engaged in it, and they want to try it too, and hopefully soon. But it's just really fun to see, like, this is where the music comes from.
Yeah, very cool. And I think that there's something really powerful about drumming, that the rhythmic nature of it, this percussion instruments that just like you say, it is a heartbeat.
Yes. So I like to do it when they go into sleepy pose. They're all trying to keep their eyes closed. We put blankets on them, make them feel like they're going to sleep, but they're really not. And it's more fun. Let's get the bolsters out and blankets out. And then I just go around. And then, their eyes pop open. Show them to close them. Just a fun way to bring in engaging the kids, really. It's just all about engaging them to want to be more aware of themselves in a different way than just moving a body in poses.
Mm-hmm. Love it. So I like these different techniques that you're using. What do you feel are the benefits of using your drumming class? Like, what inspired you first to do it? And then what did you see in the kids as you drummed?
What inspired me? So I'm always looking for just new ideas. And this drum is really pretty. I mean, you see lots of different drums, but this one is just unique and beautiful. And you can see all the designs in the back. And when you bring it out to class, when I bring it out in class, the kids' just eyes get so excited. Like, what are you going to do with this? So I think that's really why I try to think of ideas, or I see something that just inspires me to like try something new. I mean, we've all tried different things and it doesn't work out, but or it does, and it's like, wow, how do you keep doing stuff? So I feel just trying new things in class to engage the kids to want to come to learn more about themselves. That's really why I brought the drum in.
Fabulous. And what is the feedback from the kids?
I mean, every time I bring it out, they just love it, and they enjoy just doing that crazy dance in the beginning. And they would probably do it for at least half an hour, but it's time-wise. But they really do enjoy moving their bodies and just paying attention to wiggling and being goofy and silly and being themselves. So.
Actually, that your beginning activity reminds me of a Kundalini class I once went to that we did a similar activity. And it was this long mantra-led free dance that went on for when you say half an hour, I think it was like the 21 minutes of like a traditional Kundalini. And it was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. And I've seen, I've seen that done at yoga festivals and at so many other events. And it has a really wonderful way of bringing people together. Just that moving rhythmically to music in a group. And I love how you've adapted it so that their feet are planted, which makes it COVID friendly and adds kind of an extra element of challenge to it and learning. It's like, otherwise you might have kids that are running around the room and like just ping pong balling against one another. And it's like, okay, no, we got to maintain some semblance of control here. And so that idea of, no, your feet are planted, but the rest of your body is expressive. I love that. I think it's really very clever, in fact. So what about your singing bowl? So you've got a singing bowl there as well. I know. Tell me a little bit about using a singing bowl in kids yoga class. Like, I think mine is about the same size as yours. Yeah, so a smaller bowl that's portable, right? Which is nice.
Portable. They love this thing too. Prior to COVID, I would have them go around the room and use it to introduce themselves. So they would hold it in their palm and their fingers wide if they can. If they needed support, someone would help them, maybe their parent or I would, and then they would allow them to meet, and then they introduce themselves. I have them say something about themselves if they like. I also like to do it so that they can feel the vibrations of their arm. You always find it so neat that they're just, you'd see when they're quietly trying to feel it in their arm. I've also used it, to get attention. Everyone can stop when they hear that. And the good thing is, another fun thing I've done with it is to be aware of the sound. So I will ding it, and then they will bring their hand up, and then they're supposed to slowly move it down. But not all the way to the ground till it's totally quiet. So we do that a couple times because sometimes they're trying to go see who can get there first. But again, another mindfulness practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually really like that mindfulness practice, is inviting them to turn their gaze down or close their eyes and really tune into their ears, right? So they don't see you hit it, but that they're listening for the sound and that resonance, and like lift your hand, and when you can't hear it anymore, then your hand goes down, kind of thing. And it's, just tweaks on the theme of that listening skill of, tuning in to different senses and how important that is for mindfulness. Right. I know I play pre-COVID, I played a game that was everyone sitting in once we had done the listening a few times and we kind of were getting used to that. So then I would play a game where we would all sit in a circle and one person would walk behind everyone silently, right? Very quietly, right? And I would either use a singing bowl or a tingsha's, and they would then have to stand behind someone and ring it really softly. And then they would switch places with that person, right? Oh. And then that person would then walk around as quietly as they could so that everyone was like listening, and then just gently behind someone, and then they'd switch spots, kind of thing. And oh my goodness, do kids love that? Love it. Even
like Duck Duck Goose with a singing bowl.
It's Duck Duck Goose with a singing bowl, exactly. And there's no running. It's just like silently tiptoeing, but it's so fun to see the kids try to be quiet. Like for me, it's like just this wonderful opportunity because they're so so invested in the game, and you know, and then of course the kids that are waiting and waiting and waiting for a turn, and you know, make sure that you have enough time when you're playing that game so that everyone can have a turn is the one thing that I've learned. So if you have a bigger group, the game needs to be longer, or if you've got a smaller group, then it'll go faster and you might have a few rounds. But making sure that everybody has a turn. If somebody doesn't get a turn, it's very sad, actually.
Yeah.
Because they want to interact with the object as well as play the game. So that one I know is always lovely and loved. And the other thing that I do with my singing bowl is that when they rest in Shavasana, sometimes I will go and ring the bowl maybe over their chest or over their belly, and you know, just hovering above. But even that closeness, you can feel the resonance. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. Kind of some chakra work, right, over their heart chakra or their solar plexus or that type of thing. And I even do that with adults, and they're all like, "Oh my goodness." Like they'll see, like, I saw colors, all this kind of really cool stuff. When you get an opportunity to do that kind of thing, and they'll hear like one ring for each person, and so they're like, okay, and then they'll hear it coming closer to them, and you're just looking, the one eye, the pirate. Oh, I got two more until she's at me.
That is very true.
Right, it's just adorable. All right. So any other things that you do with your singing bowl in class?
Those are the things I've done in the past.
Fantastic. All right. Well, hopefully between the shakers, the drumming, and the singing bowls, we've given people a bunch of ideas on how to use percussion instruments in their kids' yoga classes.
Get creative.
Yeah, it is really just get creative, is bring it in and see where your inspiration takes you. Fantastic. All right. If people would like to get in touch with you to know more about what you do and where you are and all that kind of stuff, and reach out and follow you, I encourage you to follow Jen. She's got some really cool ideas on her Instagram. How would they go about doing that?
So on Instagram, I'm divine.love.yoga. You can also reach out to me through email if you'd like. It's Jen, Jenn, Berg at Yahoo. Oh, sorry, Jen Berg 10, excuse me, at yahoo.com.
There we go. It's like, I don't email myself. Come on. Fabulous. Well, Jen, thank you so much for coming on and being like an everyday yoga teacher who just is following her heart and her inspiration and doing her thing. I love it. I absolutely love it. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. It was really fun talking with you today.
All right. Thank you for listening, everybody. Remember, write me a review. They all disappeared. I miss your lovely words. And thanks for listening today. Until next time.